Perter Frano, welcome to the Running Long podcast.
Hi, thank you.
It's good to see you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
So we don't know a whole lot about you, and I mean, first of all, I wanted to say congrats for CCC. What an amazing race! Second place, behind Aiden Hawks. Uh, you've ran a really strong race, smart race. Second place in front of Adam Peterman, who is a world champion. So yeah, probably your best performance up to date. But before we talk about the race in Chamonix, I would like to ask you more about Peter. So yeah, tell us about who you are, where you're from, and just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so thank you very much. And also congrats to you. You also finished second.
Oh yeah, we have two silver medals. That's nice.
Yes. So yeah, I'm Peter. I'm from Slovakia. I'm 28 years old and I don't know, I was playing football till my 18 and then I moved to the mountains. I started with chemo and then I see that yeah, maybe I'm a little bit better in running. And yeah, I started with shorter distances and then I moved to longer and longer. And yeah, I see when it's longer, I'm feeling better and better. So yeah, that's all.
Cool. Um, what what was the reason of your decision to move in the mountains? Did you move with your family, or did you just decide that you wanted to live, more in the nature and in the mountains?
Yeah, I live close to the mountains and yeah, I live close to the biggest ski resort here in Slovakia. So yeah, I was playing football, but during my free time, we always been there because my father was mountain rescue and he worked in on the slopes. So yeah, we have a ski pass, so we were skiing and doing things like this. And then yeah, I decided to finish with football because I didn't like community. I wanted to do everything by myself. So yeah, I decided to go to the mountains. I had no money for ski pass, so I did a skimo, but yeah, I was always in the mountains with my parents.
Cool. Yeah, so you had to ski up and then down.
Yeah,
Cool. Um, what are the mountains in Slovakia? Is it Tatra Mountains?
yeah, but low Tatras.
Okay. And how is it different from like the Alps, for example?
Yeah, the difference is the altitude because the
Hmm.
highest peak is only 2025 meters, but it's very similar to the Alps. So I think it's perfect for trail running.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit harder for climbing and things like this, but for running, I think it's perfect area.
Yeah. Cool. Are there any big races? Because I've actually never raced in Slovakia. It's yeah, for sure, it's not the number one place when you think about trail running, but it's there is so many things to discover, and it might be interesting to come check it out one day.
Yeah, we have a lot of races like
Cool.
everywhere nowadays, but I think the problem is with organization and with everything because yeah, we're in Slovakia and no one wants to move to the international level because, for example, Tatra Sky Marathon this year it was on the border with Slovakia,
Oh
so
yeah, in the Golden Trail series. Yes.
yeah, so it was the same mountains, but on the Polish side because yeah, they want to create the show and everything, but and we are in Slovakia. I don't know why, but yeah, we don't know how to do it. So we have a lot of races, but the organization is not the best.
They don't want to like invest to become international races. They want to maybe stay smaller
Yeah, yeah,
for
because the
for local
community is
people.
quite big. They have a lot of people, so no
Okay.
reason to ask some foreigners. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Not everybody needs to grow, up to the size of UTMB or be like international. I think to develop a community in each country, in each place where those races take place is still a good thing. So yeah, I actually don't know very much about the trail scene in Slovakia, but it's good to hear that there are a lot of participants and people running. So that's good. Um, yeah. So how do you divide your season between ski mountaineering and trail running?
Yeah, during winter I do the skimo. I do some World Cups because I'm also in national team.
Yep.
And then when the snow melts, I start running, and yeah, it's quite simple. I run until we don't have snow. Then when it's snow, I start to do skimo, so it's easy.
Do you consider yourself a better runner or skimo athlete?
Yeah, the runner for
Runner.
sure.
Cool. Um, are you a fully professional athlete or do you have a side job?
I finished my studying at the university 1 month
Oh, cool.
ago. So for now,
Congrats.
yeah, I hope I will be pro,
Yeah.
but then I will see what happens.
Yeah. What did you study?
Physical education.
Cool. Yeah.
Because
So,
yeah, I never had a coach for running, so
mhm.
I always trained by myself. So I decided, okay, let's study and try to do the best.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's very important to understand the science behind the training. It's also like even if regardless if you have a coach or not, to understand why you're doing certain things in training and how you respond to training is super important. So the more knowledge and awareness you have, for sure, the better. So
Yeah,
that's cool. Also, I was checking on your website that you coach some people, right?
yeah. I offer my coach skill, so I do some online coaching if someone wants. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because in Slovakia we don't have many trail coaches, so I
Yeah.
decided, yeah, if someone wants,
Cool. And so now the plan is to try to go fully professional.
yeah, for sure, it's the dream job.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. How is your relationship with Scarpa, with Marco and the team?
Yeah, I really like the
Mhm.
Italian mentality. So for me, it's perfect. They are always late, but it's funny. But and yeah, I feel like part of the family, and it's very familiar everything.
Yeah,
So for me, it's really good. I like it.
yeah. It's do you have a few more years with Scarpa before your contract ends?
One extra, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully I think you know this result at CCC obviously put you under the spotlight. And for people who have paid attention to your career, not just this result, actually, I've been following you for a while and I've known you for a while and yeah, it's always really cool to see what you're able to do. Um, yeah, so let's talk a little bit about your race at CCC because I think it's interesting to talk a little bit about the strategy and how you handle the race. Um, it seemed like, I mean, the race probably always starts quite fast for being like a more than 10 hours race. Like everyone goes out hard. Uh, and did you go out with the leaders?
Yes,
Yeah. But you tried to keep like some margin because like I was checking the splits and you moved up like from, for example, at Grand Croix Ray, you were 11th and then La Folie, you were 7th, fourth in Triant, third in Valorsine, and then second La Flégère, and then second at the finish. So can you talk a little bit about the strategy, like how the race went from your perspective?
yeah, it was super hot during the day because
Yeah,
we saw you the day before, and a lot of top
crazy.
athletes looks really bad. So yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people blew up, and
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah,
really
yeah.
suffered.
Yeah, so I was afraid about the heat, so I decided to, because the start was at 9 a.m. So I decided to do the normal pace for first 3 hours,
Hmm.
and then slow down on the up to Gran Colfere, then in Switzerland, because yeah, it's during lunch, it's
In the
quite
middle of
hot.
the day, yeah.
Yeah, you are down in the valley, so I decided to slow down until Champelac, and then to have enough energy until finish line. So yeah, I was in the leading group until Arnaud Vazo, I don't know the name. Then I slowed down. So yeah, I was like in top 10 or top 15, I don't know. And then I started to moving forward again. But I think it works really well because I had enough energy until the end. So yeah, it was maybe a little bit strange strategy because a lot of people started slow and
Hmm.
then they started pushing on the uphill to Gran Colfere. But for me, that doesn't make reason to push at 11 o'clock or 12. So
Yeah,
it was a little bit strange, but it works.
yeah. I think it's very smart. Like I didn't hear anyone uh having this strategy on race day. Like, yeah, you hear some people, of course, using like cooling strategy, so ice, bandanas, and stuff like that, like trying to cool down, but not really consciously thinking about, okay, I can do like 3 hours at a fast pace because then it will become too hot to run hard. So then it's like surviving for maybe 4 or 5 hours and then pushing hard again. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but it was perfect. I was also able to eat more carbohydrates during
yeah.
when I slowed down. So it was perfect strategy for me. I did it for the first time, but it was good.
Yeah, really good. And were there any moments where you didn't feel good? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but when was like the lowest moment of the race?
Yeah, also some up and downs. It's
Mm,
all the time, but yeah, maybe after three end, it was a steep uphill, so I started to feel
yeah,
without energy. But yeah, it was kilometer 75 or something
yeah,
like 80. I don't know. So it was okay. So
yeah. You can expect that.
yeah.
And what is your nutrition strategy for for a race like this? What do you use?
Uh, can I name the brand? Or,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Like, do you
okay.
only use gels or like solid food or
Yeah,
what?
I'm running only with gels and some powders.
Yeah,
Most of them is Mountain,
yeah.
but I mix it with some other brands. But yeah, only liquids
Hmm.
and gels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I'm counting my carbohydrates,
how
so
much do you take?
around 70 grams.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not able to eat more for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So like not pushing the limits of carbohydrates to like 100, 120 like some other athletes do, but
I tried. I
staying
also
consistent with
yeah,
a
yeah. I
good
had a
amount.
Super Sapiens months ago, so I
Uh-huh.
was measured, but I'm not able to eat over 80, maybe in sky race or in short distance, but in ultra 70 is for me enough. So
Yeah. Yeah. You feel like it's enough
yeah, yeah.
for
I
now?
I had enough energy, so
Hmm.
I was second, so hope it was enough.
Yeah. Because now the mentality is always like, okay, pushing the limits to like 100, 120.
Yeah,
But a
that's
lot
my
of
goal,
times,
but
yeah,
yeah,
a lot of times it's better to stay a little bit below. Like you're only missing maybe like 20, 30 grams, but then you're feeling much better. So it's probably a good trade-off instead of like, you know, puking on the side of the trail
yeah.
or
Yeah, the
something.
goal is over 100, but for now, 70 is maximum. Last year it was 65, so I moved
Nice.
5 grams. So maybe in 5 years I'll be there.
Cool. And you mentioned that you were using a Super Sapiens in training. Were you able to get some interesting data? Like what did you understand about your glucose levels and nutrition?
Yeah, because I realized that I was eating a lot carbohydrates and my body wasn't able to absorb it. So I had side stitches in the downhill. So yeah, then I started to eat less carbohydrates, less energy, and it was better. So yeah, for me now, it's the maximum I can eat is 70 grams. So I'm training, I'm trying to be higher, but for now, yeah, the Super Sapiens helped me a lot with this.
Nice. Yeah. Do you usually eat on the climbs or on the downhills, or it doesn't matter? Just whenever it's time to eat, you eat.
I don't like eating in the downhills, but yeah, when you run 1000 meters descent, you have to eat something, but usually in the uphills. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And were you running with the poles for this race?
This was my second race with the poles,
Yeah.
so I'm not a big fan of poles, but if you know how to use them, because I train a lot with them, so I felt that it helps me a lot this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, also I think maybe if you are a ski mountaineer, you know how to use the poles, like you're a little
But
bit
it's
better.
totally different movement. So
Mm,
yeah, I do it in skimo, but in running, I had it last year in World Championship, and I throw them away in the first half because
yeah,
I didn't want how to use them. So
yeah,
yeah, I trained a lot last year, and for now, I think it was much better, and they helped me.
yeah. But I think people like Hayden proved that you can win CCC even without poles. I think Jonathan Albon last year used poles, but Hayden didn't use poles this
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's for the second time he won CCC. So yeah, again, is always a good debate whether to use or not use poles. Um, yeah, like I'm thinking maybe next year I will run CCC, or in 2 years, should I use poles? Shouldn't I use poles? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of poles, but I for sure have to try.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what the first race when you used poles was the World Championship last year?
Yes.
So your first CCC when you were, I think, was it your third CCC this year?
30, yes.
So last year you were fifth, right?
Last year I was seventh. 2 years ago I was
2 years
fifth.
ago you were fifth. So for those two races, you didn't use the poles.
No. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Uh, you mentioned the World Championship. Uh, Obviously, you participated in Thailand. You finished eighth place, and Innsbruck was your best World Championship up to date. You finished third, behind Benjamin Rubiol and Andreas Reiterer, in front of people like Thibaut Garivier, Zach Miller, and Drew Holman. Talk a little bit about the race because I think it's very interesting, and yeah, maybe not many people know that you finished on a World Championship podium.
Yeah, it was also a good day for me. So yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. What is your favorite memory from that day?
It was cool to run in your national jersey. It's always something different because yeah, you represent not only yourself or your brand, but also your nation. So it was cool to cross the finish line. Yeah, for Slovakia, not only for yourself. And yeah, I beat a lot of super strong athletes. I never believed I can beat them. So it gave me self-confidence for sure because it was my first maybe big result. And yeah, it was cool. It was really hard, very steep. I think no one expect the time because it was the first time that the route, so
Yeah.
no one expected the finish time and nothing. So yeah, it was important to have also good tactic and yeah, improvise during the race. So yeah, I managed it quite well. So yeah, it was very good day.
Yeah. You seem to be like really specialized for racing around 10 hours because the World Championship in Innsbruck was also just around 10 hours, pretty much
Yeah,
like
it was
the
only 80K,
CCC.
but for 10 hours. So yeah.
Yeah, 80K with 6,000 meters, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much the same elevation as the CCC, but 20K less. So pretty hard. Um, do you consider CCC your best performance or the World Championship? Which one is if
CCC this
yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah. Was it the number one goal of 2024?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And how would you consider your 2024? I mean, I was looking at your races. You ran Transvolcania Marathon. You finished second, seventh at the European Off-Road Running Championship in Annecy. Then you did the short race at the Lavaredo Ultra Trail, and then the 40K race at Verbier Trail Marathon. So yeah, talk a little bit about like how you structure your season from maybe like yeah, schema in the winter and then you start running and like how do you plan the different training blocks and make sure you peak with your fitness at the right time.
Yeah, so I had two goals, European champs and CCC. So yeah, after the skimo season, I went to Tenerife to train in altitude, in
Ah,
hot
nice.
temperature, and then I finished the training camp in Transvolcania. So yeah, it was solid. And then in European champs, it was okay, still top 10, but I didn't felt that I'm in top shape of my
Yeah.
life, but it was okay. Then I slowed down a little bit. I did some races like Lavaredo because yeah, the plan was next year to do the Lavaredo long one. So
Hmm.
and I've never been
Nice.
in Dolomite, so I wanted to do 20K and then next days explore the area. And
I think the
yeah,
best race there is the 50K. Like the 50K loop is amazing. Really, really cool.
yeah,
So,
yeah. You said me this, but yeah, I wasn't able to change the course, so I did
yeah, yeah.
20K just for fun, and I saw the area. It's amazing. Yeah, and then I started to train for CCC. So I was 3 weeks in Chamonix for training camps, and I
Nice.
felt really good. I felt also during those 3 weeks, I felt super strong. So I knew that okay, if I doesn't do some shit decisions, it could be good day. So yeah, CCC was goal, and now I don't have big plans. So. Yeah, for me the season is over. Only
Hmm.
some races for fun, and yeah, maybe waiting for winter and plan next season.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the end of the season. So you were mentioning to me that you were traveling to Thailand for
Yeah, yeah, I go to
racing.
Thailand on Monday because there is a race from Skyrunning World
Hmm.
Series,
Yeah.
but it's short distance. I'm not the best in races like 30, 40K, but I like it. It's competitive,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can explore new area and new countries. So yeah, I will do skyrunning in Asia, but it's more like for fun, yeah, because I don't know how I feel now because yeah, it's okay in trainings, but in race pace, I will see how I feel. So I have no expectation there.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And have you already thought about your 2025 season? What would you like to do? You mentioned Lavaredo. Then I think for a lot of athletes is a big decision between racing at UTMB and doing the World Championship because they're kind of close. It's probably hard to do both. Um, so what do you think?
Yeah, I have one extra problem because I won the ticket for Western States
Oh man,
in
that's true.
CCC, so and it's the same date like Lavaredo. So
You always forget that CCC is a golden ticket race. It feels like weird because it's like, yeah, one of the most important races that qualifies for another race. So it's kind of weird, but that's actually true.
yeah,
So
and
did
I
you
didn't
accept
know
the
about
golden
it.
ticket?
Sorry?
Did you accept the golden ticket?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I said
that's
yeah
good.
because I didn't know about it, and the day after on the pricing ceremony, the organizer said me, "Yeah, you won golden ticket," and I said, "No, it's bad decision. I did only 3 times CCC and no 100 miles." And then he said, "Yeah, you can wait and make the decision later." And yeah, then I think it's challenge that it's hard to say no. So for now, I said yeah, yes. So we will see. It's totally something new for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do Western States and then CCC, like
Yeah.
Aiden Hawks, Daniel Jones, Dakota, and the others. But I think if I will do Western, I will prefer to go to World Champs. It's 2 weeks later, so I have 2 extra weeks for recovery.
Yeah.
So yeah, for now that's the plan, but we will
Cool.
see. It's 9 month until Western, so maybe I will be injured or something. Maybe I will do Lavaredo. I will see. But for now, yeah,
The
I want to
plan.
try Western.
Yeah. Does the race inspire you for the history and the type of race that it is? Or like, I don't know, do you prefer like more technical and steep races or runnable races like Western?
No, I'm not very fast runner, so I like more technical races. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's something. Yeah, with history, with everything. So I think I will have a motivation for another 8 months to train for it, and so
Yeah.
I think it's good. So
Yeah, yeah, it's a good challenge, for sure. Yeah, also seeing someone like I don't know, Jonathan Albon, for example. I was talking to him. He decided to, I mean, he won CCC last year, so he got the golden ticket, and then he decided to try Western this year. And for him, it was a completely different challenge from what he's used to. And I think it went, yeah, he wasn't 100% satisfied, but he still finished sixth place with a really good time. So I think it was pretty successful. And it's always interesting how, yeah, you handle the training and then the race, and you learn. You at least you understand if you like it or not, because if you don't try, you don't know.
Yeah, I want to try, but I always feel that I'm not on the level like John Albon or Peter Engdahl. I want to survive and cross the finish line. I don't I don't go there to win. So for me, the goal
Yeah, I
will be
mean to gain
finish.
experience, but I think you shouldn't. No, I mean you're you're there with those athletes that you mentioned. Like you don't have much less than Jonathan Albon or Peter Engdahl. You've been on the podium of CCC of a World Championship. Those are pretty big races.
Yeah,
So
but first 100 miles in the US in hot weather. So yeah, for me, my goal is to cross the finish line, not to be on the podium or win or something like that.
yeah, gain experience. That's nice. I was gonna ask you a little bit more about your training. Like what kind of volumes do you do? What types of workouts? Like what do you respond best, and what works and what doesn't work for you in terms of choices that you make in your own training?
Yeah, last 2 years I train in a block, so yeah, I have some big blocks during season when I train around 170, 20 kilometers per week, but it's only 2 weeks in a block, so two times per year. So it's 4 weeks when I have a, for me, a huge volume, but then usually I'm doing around 100K per week, maybe
Okay,
less. But
not
I
not so
also do
much.
the cycling, road
Hmm.
cycling, and yeah, I think that's all. I didn't train a lot. I think for the ultra,
Yeah,
there is a lot of runners, they train much more. So
yeah.
maybe that's the reason why I've never been injured.
Hmm.
But I think I have strength from winter because I do the skimo. And I also save my joints and legs in winter. So, but yeah, I don't train a lot. So there is always space to improve when I train more. So maybe next year, next 2 years, I will focus more on this.
Cool. In terms of hours of training, what is the peak volume and then maybe the average? Because yeah, you may run only like 100K, but then there is a lot of cycling, and those 100K that you run is with a lot of elevation, so it's maybe a long time that you still spend training.
Yeah, for me, the biggest volume is in December when I am in training camp somewhere in the Alps on skimo. So it's around 100 hours per month. That's the
Okay.
maximum. But during the year, I do maybe 700 hours. No, I never had more. So yeah,
Yeah.
always a lot of time to gain.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of a shift from, the really high volume. I mean, volume is always important, but uh, David Rush, who set the record at the Leadville 100, was talking about it, and is not someone who does a crazy volume compared to a lot of people, but he was talking about, doing like just enough so you can get the adaptations that you want, so that you can perform at the races where that you want. And it was maybe, yeah, I don't know the exact details of his training, but he was not doing like 100 miles weeks, like 160, 170, or 200K per week. It was more like you, but he still set the record at the level 100. That was a really historic record for a distance that is 160 kilometers. So yeah, people may think more is always better. And it's something that I'm also trying to learn. Like yeah, I put pressure on myself to always do more. More is better, but yeah, I'm realizing that is not always true. So thanks
Yeah, I'm
for
trying
sharing
to
that.
train as low as possible to be the best as possible. But
Yeah,
yeah, more is more, but I think not in the running. So yeah. Because
yeah,
I don't want to run 1 or 2 seasons. I want to run for next 10 years. So I always have space to train more. So yeah, for now I think it's enough for me.
yeah, yeah. That's a really good principle. Like, do the least amount of work to get to the level where you want. Like, not like take shortcuts, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, keep things easy, basically. That's cool. Uh yeah, so thanks for this discussion. Maybe one last question before I let you go. Who is an athlete that really inspires you? What are yeah, some models that you have in the sport of trail running or maybe even outside of trail running?
Yeah, so when I started, it's been Kilian, like for everyone. It's simple, but yeah, for me the best athlete I know is John Albon because yeah, I did the most races I did was against him, but I never beat him. So he was always the number one, and only measure the percentage I'm losing on him. So for me, yeah, he was like idol, and I always was dreaming that I can beat him once in my life. So I'm waiting for this chance.
Yeah,
So yeah, for me, he's number one. When he come, he win. So he's true professional, and yeah, he's not a super popular person. He don't have a history or story like many other runners. So he is a humble, normal person, but super good. So I like people like he.
yeah, I can confirm. Is I was maybe lucky enough to beat him. I think a couple of times, maybe three times, but for sure he has the most wins against me. Uh, yeah, yeah. We had a really good race last year at Templier in France. He was first and I was second. So yeah, I don't know if you've listened to the podcast that I recorded with him earlier this year, but I recommend that episode. Okay, Peter. It's been really nice to talk to you. Anything else you want to add?
Now,
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I hope people will start following you more, um, and that you enjoyed the conversation.
yeah, thank you very much for the invitation.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.